Hello, and welcome back to the Chamber Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Foster Garrett, Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, let me just tell you what's going on. So every week, I interview a different chamber member to find out what they do and why they do it, right here recorded in beautiful Bedford, Virginia, broadcasting on Grove Street FM, and brought to you by Media Squatch. But before we get to the podcast, I do want to tell you about one of our upcoming chamber events. So I have actually been thinking about this idea for a hot minute. If you're not aware, the last week of April, first week of May, April 28th to May 4th, is National Small Business Week. So we always try to celebrate this week. And since I've been at the chamber for a little over a year now, last year it kind of hit me and I was like, oh no, we have to celebrate this. And so I've been thinking about what we want to do this year to really pack a punch in and kind of bring everybody into the fold to support small and local business in our area. So we are partnering with the Central Virginia Business Coalition and the town of Bedford to present a ribbon cutting palooza on April 25th at 11 a.m. So we will be cutting ribbons for some of our small business members in a rapid fire, really fun ribbon cutting ceremony. And a lot of these small businesses, we've been primarily trying to invite those without brick and mortar. So if you don't know about them, you probably don't know about them. And it's not like you're ever going to pass their storefront on 460 or something and be like, oh, I need to try that out. So we're trying to highlight them especially, as well as some of our other small businesses that have been around for a short while or have something to celebrate, like a big change or new location or an anniversary. So that should be a really, really fun event. The town of Bedford will also be doing a proclamation ceremony to declare the next week Small Business Week in Bedford. And we will also be giving out a coupon to a local restaurant to be used within 2 weeks of reception. So come on out to this event. Like I said, it's April 25th at 11 a.m. and it will take place at the Bedford Chamber office, which is located at 305 East Main Street, right next to the municipal building. And we'll be right on our front stoop. It will be so beautiful. Our tree looks amazing. So it's going to be a really, really fun event and a good celebration to kind of kick off the next week, because we'll be doing some other things and you can get ahead of it at this event. But you can find more information about that, as well as the full list of the businesses that are participating. We are growing that list, but I've already got some people up there and you can go and click on them and find out more information about their business. And you can find all of that on our calendar of events on bedfordareachamber.com. But without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guests, Tracy Bledo and Pam Bailey with the Rotary Club of Bedford. Welcome to the podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So before I kind of get into the question and answer, I told you guys this, but I normally ask people about their background and about their organization's background. But we're going to be doing a lot of history and background on the Rotary Club today. So let's just start with you guys. Tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you became involved with Rotary.
Well, I'm Tracy Bledo, and I got involved over 20 years ago in Rotary. I was actually at Erickson at the time, and I was handling community relations and corporate citizenship. And so I was approached by the Lynchburg Rotary Club, and they asked me to sponsor a disc golf course that they had built in Lynchburg, and they needed some funds to finish the project. And then they invited me to the club, and I instantly was connecting with all the people and the great things that they had done. And that's when I ended up joining. My background is corporate communications. And then I went into economic development about 15, 20 years ago. And I did regional, and then I was Bedford County economic developer. I was before Pam Bailey. She's got my old job now and she's doing great. And now I'm in workforce development.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm Pam Bailey, and like Tracy said, I'm the Economic Development Director for Bedford County. Tracy and I go way back to Erickson, and she's probably been bugging me to join Rotary for about 20 years now, or longer. It seems like it's been longer than that. But anyway, about a year and a half ago, I decided to join Rotary, kind of as a way to get involved and get back. And once I started looking at kind of the mission and reading the 4-way test and what that was, it's like that's just kind of how you want to live your life. And it's a great organization. I'm just glad to be part of it and get a chance to really immerse myself more and really get to know people that I probably typically wouldn't get to know. So I've really enjoyed it. And she's also roped me into being the finance chair. So.
She's a great treasurer so far. We're happy to have her in that role.
And Tracy, you're the president now.
I am. I'm the president. A few years ago, we knew that our 100th was coming up, and my club asked me to be president in that 100th year because they knew that it was going to be so much work.
Yeah. So they game planned it from the start.
Yes.
Well, that's funny. Well, Pam, you briefly mentioned Rotary's mission and the four-way test. So for our listeners that aren't familiar with Rotary, can you guys just give an overview of your organization?
And I don't have the mission statement in front of me, but I'll be glad to.
It's really about creating a world of harmony, peace, and understanding. In a nutshell, that's not verbatim, but that is what we're about. And we all kind of live by this four-way test that Pam will recite. But we also focus on various projects around the world. So this is a worldwide organization with over 100,000 members.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so they do a international conference every year, and we all come together, and it's wonderful to see literally this diverse group from all the countries in Africa, India, Middle East, and then America. A lot of Americans go to those international conferences, and you see people from around the world. And then we have a district, part of Tennessee and part of Virginia. And so once a year we have a conference and get to know other Rotarians there. But we are about clean water, maternal health, projects to eradicate diseases. Like you see that I'm drinking my smoothie this morning out of In Polio Now. Polio was in 125 countries 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And now we're down to 2 countries, in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And you might remember in New York, there was a Hasidic Jewish community, and a gentleman contracted polio because someone came from Pakistan on an airplane and met with him. And he, it's passed through shaking hands. And if somebody had dirty hands, that type of thing, then, and that person that they shook hands with was never vaccinated, which Hasidic Jewish people usually are not vaccinated. It's part of what their religion is. So he picked it up, and it makes you realize that through the vaccine that Rotary and the World Health Organization and the Gates Foundation has teamed up together to do, including with congressional leadership and the help from our federal government, we have stamped out polio in 123 countries, and we've got 2 more to go, basically.
That's so amazing.
Yeah. And literally it can come back to America if we don't stamp it out in those last 2 countries. And they're the most difficult. So we have immunized 2.5 billion children to keep them from getting polio in all these countries. And we have to continue doing that before they turn 5 years old. They need that vaccine in order to make sure they never get it.
So good citizenship, not just for your neighbors, but for everybody.
Right.
That's what Rotary's about.
Right.
Awesome. All right.
Now, locally, we have, we do projects locally, and then we do these global projects that we can do together.
So in the 50s and 60s, we've got a little bit of our history here. And back in the 1950s and 60s, the Bedford Rotary Club, I think that's right, they hosted polio clinics.
Yeah.
So they vaccinated
so even right here.
kids here. And then they actually did tonsillectomy clinics in the courthouse here in Bedford. So I just find that very fascinating, that who would have thought that to put a group of citizens together to vaccinate, and, kids would spend the night in the courthouse and the parents would come pick them up the next day.
Yeah. This was back in the early years in the 20s and 30s. And it was in the basement of the courthouse, and it went on for like a decade where once a year doctors and nurses would come in, and Rotary would provide volunteers, and they would have beds. The community got together and they did all of that. So back in the day, the Bedford Rotary Club was involved in putting together, like helping to form hard surface roads in Bedford. And then they would work with the state government to get reimbursed for some of the money that the town people invested.
Nice.
So there was some of that going on. Through Thaxton, the speed limit back then was 25 miles per hour. So this was back in the 20s, 30s. It was probably in the 40s, 50s, anyway. but decades ago. And our Rotary Club petitioned VDOT or whoever it was that they needed a petition to increase that speed to get traffic to move faster through from Lynchburg to Bedford and then on to Roanoke, and keep those roadways clear enough that business could happen.
That is really cool.
I know.
Yeah, that was right. I was right. Yeah, throughout time, actually, polio and tonsils, but it was 1937 that they had the mass removal clinic for Bedford when they had
When
20
they began
kids.
that, yeah.
And then in the 30s, the Bedford Rotary furnished leg braces for the kids who had been affected by polio.
So just to take it back a notch, you guys are celebrating your 100th anniversary this year.
We are, yeah.
And that's really incredible because
Yes.
you can already hear some of the amazing things that Rotary has done throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
And starting in 1924, I mean, that's a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done. And I think people, when they listen to this, they'll be really amazed at some of the things that Rotary has done that still impact our community today. Because I can't imagine the speed limit being 25 miles per hour in Thaxton. That is
Right.
crazy.
I mean, those were big things, but we've done things that people still see. For example, painting at Liberty Park here in Bedford, painting the scoring booth. You know, that building that they have. What is it called? Where they, you know, there's a spokesperson up
Like
there.
the box.
The box, yeah.
Yeah.
So we painted that throughout the years. To keep it looking nice. We have cleaned up many parks and built, even the Greenwood Park was something back in the day that we created, I think. But since then, we've been cleaning up all the parks, having various days and picking up trash on Fancy Farm Road and making sure that's clear.
Dangerous.
Apparently,
we still do that.
A lot of students throw their drinks even half full.
Yep.
Have you ever tried to pick up trash when things are half full and you pick them up and they get all over you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that at least once a year. We clean up the trash on that road. So, and then there's a 9-hole disc golf course that we did in 2020 when the kids were not able to take their masks off in school and they really just needed a break every now and then. We helped that school, the Liberty Middle School, Liberty High School. It's kind of between them. We worked with them and built this disc golf course that they could use for gym ed, for Special Olympics, and for regular, time out when the kids would get a break and they could do disc golf. And it's a great beginner course. So the Bedford County Parks and Rec actually partnered with us and we were able to raise some funds and make that happen. So that's something that we will see for decades to come and that kids can use.
That is really cool. I think it's so cool hearing like the disc golf stuff in Bedford because you don't realize how big disc golf is and how accessible it is for everybody to use.
Right.
Like it's something that everybody can enjoy.
Yeah.
And here it's free. We've got we call ourselves the disc golf capital of Virginia.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you've got all the levels. I mean, that's a beginner course for the students at school. And then you have all these other courses that are intermediate. And then you have that pro course in New London.
Yeah, that is really cool. That will be used for the World Championships.
That's right. Coming in August.
Yes.
We're excited.
Yeah. So we have our 100th year celebration coming up.
Yes, very exciting.
And I'm trying to get you to go to that.
Yes, you are.
We're calling it Roaring with a Purpose.
Nice.
And we're celebrating a century. So really, this is a fun event. This is at the Bauer Center for the Arts on May 16th. And we will have a 3-course dinner provided by the Bedford Social Club Catering. And you know how great their food is.
That is amazing.
My husband is a famous baker. He doesn't do it full time, but he does it on the side, and everybody loves his baked items. That's awesome. Everything from bread to cakes. He's actually Pam's getting married soon in a week and a half or 2
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's doing her cake as well.
That's awesome.
For her wedding. So we're going to have a wonderful chocolate cake for dessert. We're going to have 2 drinks, and you get all of this for $50. And these days, you don't get a full night of entertainment. There's live entertainment. There's, just, drinks and food and fun and surprises along the way. And all of that for $50. And most of the time you see $100 for this type of an event.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
dressing like the 20s is optional.
Yeah.
You can dress like the 1920s or the 2020s.
Exactly. But of course, I have my flapper dress ready to go.
And you guys, I saw this as well. You guys have a special drink for that night.
Yeah, we're calling it the Bedford Bliss. My husband actually took a class during COVID when he was shut in on the weekends, and he would took a bartending class online and got his certified bartending license or
Nice.
whatever you call it. And so now he can do that when we have events like this, and he can help put these recipes together. The Bauer Center is providing, they're working together because they have the license to do that, but he's helping them come up with these concoctions. So the Bedford Bliss will be the special drink that night.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Are there any other projects, current projects, future projects that you'd like to shed some light on?
Well, I'm actually going on a project right now on a wheelchair project to Ecuador. So I'm leaving. This is through Rotary. We've teamed up with the Rotary Foundation, Wheelchair Foundation, and we're providing 100 wheelchairs in Guayaquil, Ecuador. And then, of course, so we're doing, little excursions to give these wheelchairs out. It's planned ahead, through the organizations and local Rotary clubs. So my husband and I are doing that. So we all kind of individually can team up on these Rotary projects on our own dime to do some of these focus areas that Rotary International is focused on, like maternal health. The wheelchairs would fall under that whole disease and health type of thing, but we do the clean water, we do peace building and conflict resolution, basic education and literacy, community and economic development, which Pam that's her job. But she can write a grant and, through Rotary and do something in Africa or India or someplace else. And the environment was something that we added in the last couple of years. So our 7 focus areas are something that those 100,000 Rotarians are all focused on doing various projects in that. For peace building and conflict, several years ago, David Herrick, Marsha Melton Herrick, Jeff Hubbard, these are all local Bedford people, and myself, we teamed, Tracy Bledo, we teamed up, I better say my name again, we teamed up with Nancy Strachan, who has Rwandan Hugs.
Yes.
And we went to Rwanda, and we actually wrote in a Rotary International, we have the capability of writing some grants through the Rotary International program,
Gotcha.
but we have to raise that money ourselves in our Bedford Rotary Club to help do that. And we did that with Nancy's help and with other clubs in our district, in our area, like Lynchburg and so on. And we went there to help with a peace village. And we helped provide welding equipment for young people to learn those types of skills. So trade skills, that's economic development. We helped a school get some school books, and there was clean water program that Rwandan Hugs helped with too, and a whole bunch of things. And then I packed 2 suitcases full of clothes that the teachers at the school just went crazy over because, they loved getting American clothing and all of that. And it was just such a wonderful program. And that was through a $130,000 grant that we did. And it's not just a grant, it was half of the grant and half of the raising of the money through other Rotary clubs and our own Bedford Rotary Club. And we did that right here from Bedford Rotary Club.
And another thing we do here locally is we sponsor at least 1, if not 2, depending on how much money we raise, to send 2 local students from Liberty High School to the STEM Academy each semester.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps cover their costs and offset some of their costs that they might not be otherwise be able to go to the CVCC campus in Lynchburg for that. So that's just another way that we give back locally here.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we do that. And then we also do the 2 youth for the RILA, for the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. So all of our 79 clubs that we have in our Tennessee, Virginia district, each club can send 2 students to a Rotary Youth Leadership Awards seminar at Virginia Tech. And it's a weekend of having wonderful fun, doing a big project to pack meals for a developing country. But these kids learn leadership skills, and they also team up and get new friends. And our club sponsors 2 of them every year from Liberty High School.
So I have to highlight my intern because Cameron Stone went to that this year.
Yay.
And Pam, I think you've briefly met Cameron.
I did.
She is one of those kids where I feel like people always talk about how like teenagers and young adults nowadays don't have the people skills. Like they're really, really smart, but they can't hold eye contact or they're too scared to go up to people and start a conversation. That is not Karen.
No,
She is
great.
She's really incredible, and she's the perfect candidate to go to that leadership class because do you know how much she looked forward to that?
No,
It was like for 2 weeks. I always ask her, I'm like, okay, are you doing anything fun? Do you have anything fun coming up this weekend or next weekend or whatever? And it was always, I'm going to this leadership conference and I'm really excited.
Aww.
Well, she was a big hit there. I actually drove them to the place because you have to have it. We're very careful about security for young people, so we have a background check and everything for anybody that can drive them. So I actually drove them there and got to know she and Tyler Cottrell, and they were just wonderful students, and they were a big hit there because of their outgoing personalities and their leadership skills.
Yeah.
I mean, they were selected from their school for a reason. And so we were really pleased to be able to do that. And our hope is that anybody that's at that age that remembers their time with Bedford Rotary Club, they'll go off, they'll get their degree or whatever it is that they do after high school, but they'll remember us and they'll come back to us and be members of our club.
For sure.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your current membership. How many people do you have? What are your meetings like?
Yeah. So we've got 22 members. And the funny thing is that in 1924, I was looking back at how many members they started with. They started with 22.
Oh, nice.
It's funny that we've come full circle, but right now we're growing. We're getting 2 new ones. So we're soon going to be 24. And our goal is to grow it to 30 this year. And we hope that this 100th anniversary will spur something in people in Bedford that want to do good, want to connect with other like-minded people that want to do good. And we want to welcome anybody that has that desire and has that, lives that 4-way test. Pam was going to recite that. Pam, recite the 4-way test.
So the beginning of every meeting, we have a little bell that we ring.
Yeah.
And then we do the national or the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we also read the 4-way test, or we recite the 4-way test, which is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? So we kind of feel like if you live your life that way, you're going to be doing good and be successful in whatever, no matter what. I mean, you don't have to be a Rotarian to live by this, but it just kind of brings a bit of a kinship, I think. And so the Tracy talked about when you travel around the world or just different places and you go into a community, it's got the little Rotary sign, you instantly kind of feel connected. So I was not for Rotary, but I was in Tanzania and Kenya a couple of years ago, and we were driving through Tanzania, I saw a Rotary sign. I'm like, how cool is that? Just in some random, literally, jungles of Tanzania, and you see the sign. It's pretty cool that way. But yeah, in terms of our group, we've got people from, I don't know,
all walks of life, really. So
different careers. So some people are retired, some people are work full time,
real estate, banking, you name it, any of the major things. Even Susan Martin from the Bauer Center, she lets us have our meetings there, and she is a member, and she actually does a lot for our youth. So she's one of our chairs for those youth programs.
Nice.
And she's great because she had 3 children, and she has a connection to Liberty High School because of that. So we want to see local Bedford people join our club. We have people that live throughout Bedford County in our club, and we have, half of them probably are from the town, but we want to see more town people come forward that want to align with us. And again, we welcome all diverse walks of life. So please come see us. We meet the first and third Friday of each month at 12:15 at the Bauer Center. And anyone can walk in. We like to know that you're coming, and you can email me. I'm tbledo@gmail.com. That's my personal email. Let me know that you're coming so we can make sure we have a lunch. We eat those wonderful lunches from the town kitchen. So
Oh, those
you
are so
don't want to
good.
not have a lunch if you come. So let me
Seriously.
know that you're coming. But please feel free to reach out to any member. Pam through Bedford County, her office is in the county administration building. You can find her just by calling Bedford County and asking for her, or you can reach out to me at tbledo, Tracy Bledo, tbledo, BLIDO @gmail.com.
I've been thinking about this the whole time we've been talking, and it's one of those things where I'm not sure how, if I should say it, but I think it's really amazing that the Rotary Club, it stands out to me in comparison to other clubs in the area that are service-based, because you don't have a very, very narrow vision of what you do. You have a very wide vision.
Right.
And the value-based service is really incredible to me too, because you don't necessarily, this can definitely align with Christian values, but you don't necessarily have to be Christian.
That's true.
And I think that really opens the door, because you can find meaning and being a good citizen,
Right.
whatever that means to you.
Well, and because Rotary is around the world, that kind of shows you that we are non-political, non-religious. It's because we are a worldwide organization, and we're the only one that I know that has such a high rating on Charity Navigator, where they kind of look at the funds that go through a nonprofit organization, and we rank the highest when it comes to how our funds are treated than when people give to Rotary as well. So it's a wonderful organization, non-political, non-religious. That's right.
Yeah, just here to do good.
That's right.
Well, what are some of the best ways to support you guys if people are considering donating or just wanting to get involved but not sure if membership is the right step at this time?
Just come visit a club, or come visit our club on the first or third Friday. Get a feel for it. We love to have sponsors. We can promote you on social media, in our meetings, on signs. And for our 100-year anniversary, we have lots of wonderful sponsors. Our largest one is Gross's Orchard.
Excellent.
Gross's Orchard is our premier sponsor, and then we have lots of other sponsors too. So we welcome, Tharp Funeral Home and many others. They're supporting us, and they're also sending a couple people to our party. So you need to come too, Foster.
Okay, Tracy. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Just again, that we welcome all people.
Well,
yeah, and if they, like Tracy said, if they've got any questions, want to reach out, and they need our contact information, I know that they can reach out to you, and you can find us as well. But there are quite a few Rotarians in the Bedford area, and there's other Rotary clubs too. But it doesn't take you very long to find a Rotarian. It's funny when I first joined, I'm like, oh, you're in Rotary too. Well, how about people I had no idea, because like I said, I'm still kind of new to all this.
And we do the club, and we do social events, and we do service events and clean up parks, and we do a lot. So again, we welcome all, and especially we want to see you at our you don't have to be a member to come to our party on May 16th, and our website is bedfordrotaryclub.com.
Oh, if I can add one more thing too. Another way, if people want to kind of get involved and sort of see, we have, at these meetings, we usually have speakers. So if there's certain events or something or a certain organization that wants to come and speak to our club about ways that we can help them, or just to raise for our awareness of whatever that organization is doing, we more than welcome guest speakers. We do have to time them out, because sometimes we don't want to double book, because we are mindful of the time, because it's your lunch hour essentially. But yeah, we more than welcome people to come, and that's actually one way I got involved, because they asked me to come and speak, and then I was like, oh well, this is kind of that kind of got me a little bit more intrigued. But like Tracy said, we love to have people come in and visit. If anybody wants to help us clean up a road, what better way to get to know somebody than picking up trash on the road?
That's very true.
We do wonderful projects here in the town of Bedford, and so that's why we're interested in seeing more people from the town to join our club. Thank you so much for having
Yes.
us.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been extremely informative. I'm super excited to keep seeing what you guys do, especially for your 100th anniversary.
We're
Thank
excited.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
congrats again on great celebration.
Thank you very
Great
much.
year. Well, if you guys want to learn more about the Chamber, you can call us at 540-586-9401, or you can visit our website, bedfordareachamber.com, for more information about our mission and the perks of becoming a member. But also on our website is a full business directory of our membership, which is helpful for finding all sorts of great things in the region, including the Rotary Club of Bedford. Well, that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next Chamber Vibes podcast.